Hey guys, Earl Henderson here, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. Today's video is going to be about the CAT7 tourniquet. So a while back I decided to buy some used gear from someone, and they had a specialty tourniquet holder, and it had a tourniquet inside of it, and I quickly found out that that's a fake tourniquet. So went ahead and bought a brand new real tourniquet, and it's come in. So this video is going to be an unboxing video of a brand new CAT7 tourniquet, and I'm going to go into the details of how to spot a real CAT tourniquet from a fake CAT tourniquet. And you may be asking yourself, why are there fake tourniquets? Well, long story short, the reason behind that is China, and they love copying stuff and producing it to make a profit off of it. So a lot of that need for the fake tourniquets comes from airsoft guys, and they're the ones who don't need an actual real tourniquet because they're not using it. They just want it for looks, and China is able to meet those needs by copying the CAT tourniquet and making imitations. So there's, just like a fake $100 bill, there are fake tourniquets out there, and they look a lot alike. So much so that even industry professionals sometimes cannot tell the difference in them. There's several cops out there who don't know the difference, who are probably carrying right now a fake tourniquet. Plenty of tactical people out there, armed citizens. There's even medical professionals out there who've been fooled by some of these fake CAT tourniquets. There was a story, I forget how long ago it was. It was an ambulance crew. Is either an ambulance crew or an emergency department or emergency room. They were having to use tourniquets for severe hemorrhaging, and they used two of them, and those two had catastrophic failures. And I believe what happened with them was the windlass broke on them, and they did an investigation and come to find out the tourniquets they had were counterfeits. And basically someone who was in charge of buying stuff thought they found a really good deal on some tourniquets and bought those. Unfortunately, you're not going to find a very good deal on a real CAT tourniquet. They are, I don't want to say they're expensive, but they're not very cheap. Which, looking at my invoice here, so $30 for this tourniquet, plus the $5 for shipping, and I'm sure there's obviously taxes thrown in there, which it doesn't give me the full overall total. You know, sometimes these packing slips they throw in there are not very reliable. I get some stuff that doesn't even have any prices on it, and for whatever reason that's a thing, and I just don't know why that is a thing. So going to my email, looking at it, grand total was $37.08 just to get one tourniquet. So if you got someone trying to sell you a tourniquet that's like $15-20, chances are it's probably not real. If it is real, then that person must be down on their luck, or they really like you and they're giving you a good deal on it. So anyway, this is what I ordered. This is what it came in, and of course it comes shrink wrapped with this plastic covering on it. It's not vacuum sealed or anything like that, but it is sealed in a plastic covering. Comes with a set of instructions for your CAT tourniquet. You can get these in what's called tactical black. You can also get them in an orange color. The orange color is something you probably see more with EMS crews or something like that, where the need to have subdued colors is not necessary. The tactical black is for military law enforcement applications where you don't want something very brightly colored on you because the rest of your uniform is subdued looking, whether you're wearing black, you're wearing camo, whatever. You get the idea. And actually here's an illustration of the different colors. The blue one is for training purposes only. Generally within military and law enforcement, blue denotes something that is inert. It doesn't really truly work. It's just for training purposes only. And that is what you want to use when you are training with tourniquets. You don't want to use the real thing on someone because you add stress into it, the binding of the materials and everything, and you can degrade its integrity over time with multiple evolutions of training. The blue one it's just made to take abuse and use it over and over and over. If you end up stretching the materials out too much, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's for training purposes only. But those are the three colors they come in. These little tabs right here, if I remember correctly, they come in the white or gray color. Yeah, this is just a white or a gray color. And basically what it is just for you to write the time down that you applied this tourniquet. Some of the features of the CAT tourniquet that make it different from fake ones, and I'll bring out the fake one here. We'll do a side-by-side comparison. So side-by-side comparison, it's looks similar. Now, of course, the red tab on the back is absent on the fake one. The printing on the band here is absent from the fake one. On the real one, on the buckle here, you have CAT. Let's see if I can get that to focus better. It is in raised lettering. The fake one does not have that at all. Completely absent from it. And the buckle itself is also pretty different in its construction. You can tell that the real one is a lot bigger than the fake one, and it's just designed differently, and the webbing is woven into it a lot differently. Actually, this could probably be that person's mistake in not putting it in there correctly. But you can see the difference in the buckles there. Also, the windlass itself, so you can see the distinct difference in the size of the windlass. You also have the CAT. It's right there. You can see the CAT on the windlass itself. It's raised up. And these ribs, oops. These little ribs here on the windlass are more distinct looking than the fake one. Also on the I don't know what the terminology for it is, the plate here on the back, you notice the differences here. We got raised lettering into the material itself, whereas this is just basically kind of printed on there. Another thing is there is sonic stitching or sonic welding, I think is the terminology, sonic welding on here. That's a distinct difference. You can't really tell any sonic welding on this one. It looks like there's some sonic welding on it, but it's not very profound, and it's, as you can tell, it's obviously not the same as on the real one. It looks way different. So you can get on North American Rescue website and look at the CAT counterfeit CAT literature, and be able to see photographs of the fake ones versus the real ones. And some of the fake ones are dead giveaways, and then there's some out there that they're pretty close to the real one, and that's just the nature of the beast when you're dealing with China. They just love copying stuff and trying to put it out there on the market and make a buck off of it, and people don't know the difference. Like there are counterfeit Surefire flashlights out there that people don't really know the difference of, and unfortunately when it comes to this type of life-saving equipment, it's important that you get the real thing. If you, like I said, if you think you're getting a deal on something, chances are you are not getting a deal on it at all. You're being scammed. Someone's selling you some fake shit. That, or someone you know, and they're giving you a break and they're just giving you a good deal. But most of the time it's going to be a scam. Like, you go to Amazon.com and you look for cat tourniquets, I would not trust Amazon.com at all unless you are going to the Rescue Essentials store or the North American Rescue store on Amazon, if they even have those stores on Amazon. I don't know. The best thing to do is go to those websites and order directly from those websites. That way you know that you are for sure getting a real tourniquet. So the windlass that I talked about is this big stick thing right here. So basically you just keep turning it and turning it and turning it and turning it and turning it until you really can't turn it anymore. And you can see this right here. Well, this goes basically inside of here. Now this is hollow, so to speak, on the inside, and so this right here runs the whole length of this. And as you turn it, you're twisting and binding this up, and it's just basically constricting around you. Well, this thing can only take, well, the fake ones can only take so much stress, and then they'll snap and break. And once these things snap, you can't put any torque on it anymore. You could theoretically take a stick or some type of metal instrument or something like that, something that's going to have really good tensile strength, put it in there and start rotating on it. That could work. But the best way to prevent that from ever happening is to buy a real one. And I'll show you again. There's a huge difference between the real tourniquet and the fake tourniquet, and how their windlass is Velcro sticking, and how the windlass is shaped. Big difference there. Big difference. And you know, putting some flex on this, it doesn't really bend a whole lot. This one, it doesn't bend a whole lot either, but I'm not putting a whole lot on there. But you can tell that the bigger one is going to be able to withstand a whole lot more pressure on it. So that's how you can tell the difference between a real tourniquet and a fake tourniquet. Now, with that being said, once you get your tourniquet, you want to take it out of the packaging, obviously, and get it preloaded. I'll see a lot of people who will take this Velcro thing and then they'll throw it across the top there when they store it. And that's not what you want to do. You want to keep this open. That way it's one less thing for you to have to mess with in an emergency. Apply the tourniquet around the affected limb. Twist, 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 twist. Lock that thing in place right in here. That way it can't unravel on itself. And then lock the retention strap over top of it to keep this thing from accidentally popping loose. So you want to keep the Velcro open on it. You can go ahead and pre-size this to, like, say, your thigh. So each person's leg is going to be different sized, but you go ahead and slide this thing on, get it to where you think it needs to be sized to correctly, and then you can fold it back up and put it where it needs to go, whether it's going to go in a tourniquet holster or it's just going to go in a med bag, whatever. But the idea is to size it properly to your biggest limb that it could go on. That way you're not trying to fight the damn thing when you take it out of a bag or a holster and trying to get it to go around your leg, and you've got it cinched down too small. Now you got to undo it all and just mess with it. It's just makes it a whole lot simpler and easier if you can just slip it on, cinch down, tighten it, and then start twisting. Tourniquets are used for massive hemorrhaging, and when you look at TCCC, Tactical Combat Casualty Care, the leading causes of death on the battlefield, massive hemorrhaging is going to be one of those. Now, with that being said, all that data, yes, it includes things like landmines, improvised explosives, artillery, etc., causing injuries. We don't have that stuff here in continental United States, at least not right now. Not to say it could never exist, but we still have, obviously, small arms fire, and small arms fire is also going to be one of those contributing factors to massive hemorrhaging. You take a round into the leg, it hits the femoral artery, boom, you've got massive hemorrhaging at that point. In a war zone, you have that plus the possibility for amputations from explosives. And like I said, we don't really have that issue being very prevalent here in the U.S., but it still can exist to some extent, just not as widespread as it is overseas. But we're still subject to massive hemorrhaging from small arms fire. And if you're going to carry only one piece of medical equipment on you, I would say that a tourniquet is probably the best thing to get. That way, if you do have massive hemorrhaging, you're able to deal with that right then and there using appropriate equipment. I see and hear too many people talk about improvising a tourniquet with their belt. I do not think that is the greatest idea at all. When you think about that, what if you have to move? Now your pants are not going to be held up very well because you don't have a belt on. So now you could be looking at being found dead with your pants around your ankles, your pants down to your knees, whatever. That's going to affect your mobility. You can't run very well when your pants have fallen down and they're around your legs. So I don't think that the idea of improvising a tourniquet from a belt is the best first go-to option. Now that's, if you've got your tourniquet and you used your tourniquet and you're all out of tourniquets, then yeah, last ditch effort, try to improvise a belt. But trying to improvise a belt should not be your first go-to option. Your first go-to option should be a tool specifically made for it, and it is a tourniquet. These windlass style tourniquets are really good at constricting blood flow. There's also elastic style tourniquets like TK4 or the SWAT T tourniquet or the RATS tourniquet. Those are pretty good as well, but to get really, really good constriction, a good windlass is going to be the way to go. But it also takes up more footprint than, say, an elastic tourniquet, such as like a TK4 or a SWAT T. It's a little bit bulkier, and if you go with the soft tourniquet, and it has the metal windlass on it and the little hook on there, that's kind of even a bulkier package than this, I think. So this is something that would, if you're depending on what your role is, if you've got outer vest on, TAC team, whatever, you know, this would go midline on the vest somewhere. You can reach it with both hands. If you're in a more uniformed look with a duty belt and everything, this will go somewhere on your gun belt. It would be great if you can have it midline, but with the way gun belts are and everything, you know, you might not be able to get that optimal midline placement right there where the buckle's at, because you might have taser to one side and OC to one side, and some people are small and they don't have a whole lot of space on the belt at all, which goes into the next video about this thing, which is the whole catalyst to this. So like I said, I had bought some gear from someone who was getting rid of stuff, and they had an attachment for a Safariland holster that I really liked, and I thought, that's cool, I want it. And come to find out, you know, they sold all the stuff. The tourniquet came with it was fake, so had to get me a new one to put in this. But there will be another video on this, so if you want to figure out what this thing is and what it looks like on a Safariland holster, then watch the next video. But yeah, so somewhere on the duty belt, you will see these. A lot of times I see them kind of placed, kind of like behind the baton area. Well, let's use the clock reference. So, you know, looking at a duty belt, you know, let's say this is the front, 12 o'clock, back here around the 5 o'clock-ish kind of position, between 5 and 4, is where I sometimes see these things positioned at, or right behind the handgun, or maybe right in front of the handgun, or behind the baton, and the baton is right behind the handgun, or off to the left over here, where you might have like a portable radio or something like that. I don't see very often these things being stuck to the front of the duty belt, but ideally that's where it should go. That way it's midline and it's accessible from either hand. That way if your dominant hand is out of the fight, then you can access the tourniquet from the front of the belt with your left hand. If it's all the way to the back side over here and your right hand goes out, you're going to have a very difficult time reaching all the way around you with your left hand to get that thing out. So midline is the way to go. But with, like I said, duty belt setups and size and everything, sometimes some people just don't have space on it, or because of the belt design, it's just not very optimal to do that, which is why I've gotten this attachment to attach to the holster itself. I can still keep it to the front of my body, should still be able to reach across and access it from my left hand. It's not exactly midline, but it's still accessible from both hands. Having the gear is only one part of the solution. You have to have the knowledge with this stuff. And so I urge you to take actual hands-on medical training beyond just your basic CPR, AED, first aid kind of class, because that stuff is not going to give any justice to these pieces of equipment or what you need to do for TCCC, Tactical Combat Casualty Care. You need to go to a specialized course for that, or get with someone who knows this stuff and they can show you what to do. Yes, you can watch some YouTube videos, get an idea how it's used, but YouTube should not be used as a substitute for proper training. You need to get actual good hands-on training with this equipment. If you like what you hear and see, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you have not already, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more videos. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense, thank you for watching.